streaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say doth that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Staff Sergeant Fox. That was wonderful. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all of the members of the Jazz Quartet who are also here with Fort Sam Houston's 323rd Army Tribute as well. So it's my greatest honor to welcome you all to the grand opening of Austin's Center for Defense Innovation. Thank you. The newest addition for collaboration and serendipity at the Capitol Factory with the Army Futures Command, Air Force AFWorks, Defense Innovation Unit, the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, and a team of Booz Allen Hamilton's defense innovators. This unprecedented collaboration between the public and private sector brings together entrepreneurs and innovators and government innovators like never before. We're pleased to have our Senator John Cornyn, Representative Dennis Bonnen, Speaker of the Texas House of Representatives, General Mike Murray, Commanding General of the Army Futures Command, participating in the grand opening today. And I'd also like to recognize Major General Wetherington, Karen DeHoot, who leads the Booz Allen's General Defense Business, and Dee Helfenstein, Booz Allen's Solutions Officer. And of course, I also must thank my wife, Amy, currently a Tower Fellow at UT Austin, who's here today and always encouraging me to pursue one crazy idea after another. And as some of you may not know, she also actually came up with the Texas Manifesto. So thank you all for being here today. We stand here as we open up this latest expansion of the Center of Gravity on the 8th floor of the appropriately named Austin Center building. And this floor actually has extra meaning to me personally because this is the first floor that I ever leased in this building, or actually in any building at all, almost 15 years ago with my first startup, Skylist. It was on this floor in 2011 that we actually beta tested the Center of Gravity concept by hosting the Austin on Rails and Lean Startup Circle meetups and inviting startup companies like WP Engine and AppSumo to join my last startup at the time, Other Inbox, in our space together. Now fast forward to 2019, and we expect more than 250,000 participants in our programs this year, 3,000 entrepreneurs who will be working here, and hundreds of startups. Capitol Factory is the center of gravity for entrepreneurs in Texas. This is a place where entrepreneurs and innovators of all kinds come together to collaborate and to build a better future using technology. Capitol Factory is more than just a place, though. Capitol Factory is an ecosystem, a community, that stretches across the great state of Texas and connects us to other communities of innovators all over the world using a platform called Union. Now, with the launch of this new floor, Capitol Factory is a new center of gravity for defense innovation. I did not serve in the armed forces, but both my grandfathers served in World War II, and my father, who's here today, served as an airman in the Korean War. My father instilled in me a great sense of respect for the armed forces and for the men and women who serve. And there was a time, actually, where I think he had great hopes I was going to go to the Naval Academy in Annapolis, so sorry, Dad. But I never expected that I might have another opportunity to serve our country in some small way, and I couldn't be more proud of what's happening and what's launching here today. This was not our idea. We didn't ask DIU, the Air Force, or the Army to come here. They came to us. But when Army Futures Command came, Texas answered the call. The Austin Chamber answered the call. Dell answered the call. South by Southwest answered the call. UT System answered the call, Governor Abbott answered the call, and thanks in part to the values that my father instilled in me and the support of our entire leadership and community here, Capital Factory answered the call. The whole Central Texas ecosystem came together, including San Antonio, to make sure that the Army knew that they were welcome in Texas and that the startup and technology community is ready to contribute to their mission. From what I've learned, there are two things that are really unique about this place where we stand today, together. The first is that we have multiple government innovation organizations in one place. The Army, the Air Force, the Department of Defense, the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, and we're in the process of establishing other partnerships. You're going to see more other groups here. Just like bringing entrepreneurs together creates gravity that attracts entrepreneurs, investors, and talent, bringing these government innovators together will also have its own gravity that will attract other innovators and entrepreneurs to work with them. They'll learn from the entrepreneurs, and they're going to learn from each other. Second is that you didn't have to go through security to get in here, and nobody ever will. This is not a secure facility. There's no skiff here. This is a place for collaboration, not for secrets. Serendipity is an essential ingredient for innovation, and it's hard to have serendipity behind barbed wire. And that's part of why they came here. This is the only place in the world where an entrepreneur can walk in off the street and engage authentically with members of the defense and intelligence communities. If you're a startup who's interested in working in defense, this is the place where you want to sit, with general officers walking by multiple times per day and cross-functional teams coming together from across the country. I believe they had their first cross-functional team meeting in the Army Futures Command Space this morning. Once an entrepreneur finds some traction with a government customer, we have world-class partners like Booz Allen Hamilton that can help smaller companies deploy their products across at Army scale. And if it weren't for the vision of Susan Penfield and Dee Dee Helfenstein and others at Booz Allen, this would not have been possible. They bought into this vision from the beginning and have been an essential partner in bringing this to fruition, so thank you. They were also founding members of our new Corporate Innovation Council, of partners who want to tap into the fire hose of attention that comes through our doors every day. So I'd like to thank ExxonMobil, Daimler Mercedes, Harris Corporation, SEIC, BAE, and Cisco, who are also all founding partners. There are a lot of other people who deserve to be thanked, and I'm sure I can't possibly get to all of them, but I'm going to try. I know Joseph Kopser's here tonight. He was the first person ever to paint for me a vision of what making Texas a center for Texas innovation could be. Megan Smith, the first CTO of the U.S., who brought Chris Lynch here, who's back here again today for South by Southwest one year, which then resulted in Ash Carter coming and the eventual DIU presence. Undersecretary McCarthy and General Leslie, who led the interview process with Austin for the Army Futures Command, and Mike Smith and Shelley Turner from the Army, who were integral in making it happen. Senator Cornyn, Senator Cruz, Congressman Doggett, Congressman Carter, and all of the elected officials who supported this effort, the Austin Chamber, and especially Sharice Bodish and Mike Rollins, who were literally pulling all-nighters to make all this happen. Craig Cummings and Paul Norwood, who have been at Capital Factory's Army Sherpas, helping us navigate and understand all of the lingo and terminology and everybody that we need to work with and the subtleties and protocol. And Lon Cummings, who helped put this incredible event together tonight. So with that, it's now my pleasure to introduce some of our other distinguished guests to share their remarks. And our first speaker today is Senator John Cornyn, who's currently serving his third term representing Texas in the U.S. Senate. Prior to becoming a senator, he served here in Texas as a district judge, a member of the Texas Supreme Court, and as Texas Attorney General. He's also the son of a career U.S. Air Force officer who spent 31 years in the military. We're grateful to Senator Cornyn for his role in bringing the Army Futures Command to the city of Austin, a hub for innovation and technology, which will benefit from the advancement of the U.S. Army. Please join me in welcoming United States Senator John Cornyn.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And as a resident of Austin, it's really tremendous to see the Army and Austin getting along so well. I think both of them will be better off for the collaboration. I, of course, want to thank Josh for his leadership and for hosting us here today at Capital Factory's new Defense Innovation Center. It's a privilege to be here with my longtime friend and our new Speaker of the House, Dennis Bodden. Good to see you, Dennis. And of course, General Murray, who I've come to know and look forward to working with more in the future, the head of the Army Futures Command. I want to thank Sergeant Fox for that wonderful rendition and the Jazz Quartet from Fort Sam Houston's 323rd Army Band for their performance. In 2016, Sergeant Fox and the members of Fort Sam's Own were kind enough to lend their talents to an event that I host annually, where we send off all of the new students going to the U.S. military academies. It's always a very exciting and patriotic event. Thank you all for your contribution. So we just had a chance to see the tremendous demonstration of Sensei and Athena Security, two of the companies working here at Capitol Factory. And the products they've developed have provided us a glimpse into the future. I said earlier that you don't really think of the federal government and innovation in the same sentence. They are really, the federal government's almost the antithetical to innovation. So I'm really excited to see the cross-cutting place here, and I think that it will help us be stronger and be better stewards of the taxpayers' dollar. The fast-paced innovation that you find here, it's safe to say, would not happen in very many other places. But government and industry have a habit of working in silos, and here those silos have been torn down. And I think, as again I said, we'll all be better off for it. Because we need not only innovators, and we need idealists standing next to the members of our national security services. And that's how we build products and capabilities for our military that are new, exciting, and will help us keep the peace across the country. Peace does not come, I don't mean to sound necessarily like Ronald Reagan here, but peace does not come from weakness. Weakness can be a provocation for people who want to take advantage of that weakness. So that's why I believe America must always remain strong. That's why we need to provide our men and women in military services all the resources they need in order to deter violence and war. So our city also has incredible major academic institutions like the University of Texas hosts here to the Army Futures Command. It has great talent and it has a reputation for welcoming new ideas. And it ranks, of course, high in the technology fields like artificial intelligence, engineering, and robotics, which are absolutely essential to the modernization of the military. And that's why I became such a strong advocate for Army Futures Command to come here to Austin, Texas. The Army chose Austin simply because, as countless startups have already learned, this is the best petri dish, certainly, in Texas for innovation, and I would argue in the nation. Last August, I participated in the AFC activation ceremony where we heard from the Secretary of the Army, Mark Esper, talk about the significance of this bold reorganization and the need to reapply and develop ideas and solutions to push the Army forward, because we know our adversaries are doing the same. He said Austin was selected as the home for this mission because it, quote, not only possesses the academic talent, the entrepreneurial spirit, and access to key partners we're seeking, but also because it offers a quality of life that our people desire and a cost of living they can afford. I'm glad the Army recognized why Austin was such a great choice, and I'm honored to join you today as we cement Austin's place as the leading defense innovation center in the country. Putting Army Futures Command, AFWorks, Defense Innovation Unit, and the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency all under one roof alongside leading innovators is how we forge a path into the future of military readiness. I've had the privilege of a few conversations with General Murray, as well as leaders of DIU and AFWorks about the importance of prioritizing rapid technological developments in the defense space. It's imperative, as I said, that the brave men and women who continue to answer the calls to service in the defense of our nation, that we do our part to make sure they have the tools they need in order to be successful. The National Defense Authorization Act we passed last year, named for my friend and former colleague John McCain, includes a number of provisions to ensure our armed forces are poised to meet the threats of today and tomorrow. It fully supports innovation efforts to ensure technological superiority, and it places a strong emphasis on policy and programs to advance artificial intelligence, machine learning, quantum sciences, and other critical national security technologies. It also authorizes additional funding to accelerate these programs and invest in intelligence capabilities and innovations. When it comes to equipping our military with the best resources and technology possible, we have to think outside the box, and that's what Army Futures Command is all about. And I can't think of a better place for that ingenuity than Austin, Texas. So I look forward to not only the great ideas new great ideas that take root here at the Capitol Factory to turn capabilities and equipment used by our military into something they use every day to help keep the peace and keep our nation secure. Thank you again for the opportunity to join you today, and congratulations.
Thank you, Senator Cornyn, for being here and for your support. Now I'm pleased to introduce our next speaker, the Honorable Dennis Bonnen, who was recently unanimously elected Speaker of the Texas House of Representatives. Speaker Bonnen has served in the Texas House of Representatives for over 20 years, representing southern Brazoria County and the entirety of Matagorda County. Prior to his election as Speaker, Speaker Bonnen served as Speaker pro tempore beginning in 2013, and he served as Chairman of the House of the Ways and Means Committee. In addition to his legislative duties, he is the CEO and Chairman of the Board of Heritage Bank. Thank you, Speaker Bonnen.
I also am privileged to have with me two state House members who represent the Austin area, Representative Terry Wilson, who's retired Army, and Representative John Cyrier. Thank y'all for being here. They're the guys who talk Army to me and help me make sure to get it all right so this does not get messed up. It is an honor to be here, Senator Cornyn. Thank you so much for all you have done in your leadership to make sure this day happens. And of course, General Murray, thank you for everything you're doing. Texas and our nation's military have forged a special relationship over the last 150 years. Texas provides over 174,000 members of the armed forces, more than any other state but California. And it took them twice the population to beat our enlistment by just a few thousand. So we're really outdoing them, frankly. Military missions bring Texas-sized benefits to our state's economy. Over 15 active duty military installations called Texas Home, with an economic impact of over $100 billion. This project will add to that continuing success story we have with the military in Texas. A few weeks ago, I had the honor of meeting with General Murray to discuss this important project and thank him personally for the opportunity that presents us today. The Army couldn't have made a better choice than picking Texas. This site sits at the corner of the booming technological scene all across our great state of Texas. It makes the perfect home for the Army Futures Command. Texas selection is a statement to what we do to promote STEM-related innovation and research. Our low cost of living, high quality of life, and close proximity to private sector innovation make Texas sought after for investment like this. We will do everything in our power to keep that going, and what you're doing today will drive it forward. Austin is home to 6,500 tech companies, 36 incubators, and tens of thousands of students and veterans. Texas's ability to provide these facilities with the talented, skilled workers they need makes Texas ripe for technological investment. This facility provides jobs for 500 employees, all of which will be dedicated to modernizing processes used to equip the soldier of the future and to integrate innovative technology to increase our Army's capabilities. Our soldiers deserve the very best possible technology and support in their efforts. And in Texas, we don't settle for second best, so it makes a very natural and welcoming fit. General Murray, I want to thank you for everything you've done to make this happen in Texas. I want to also note that I know you now have the command motto, is forge the future. And of course, we fully are committed to that future and the Army remaining Army strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker Bonnen, for being here and for your support. Now I'm pleased to introduce our final speaker, General Mike Murray, the Commanding General for the Army Futures Command, who I've gotten to know pretty well over the past couple of months. General Murray was commissioned as an infantry officer in the U.S. Army upon graduation from Ohio State University.
No, the Ohio State.
He actually does say that.
Ohio State. He served in various leadership positions and commanded the 3rd Brigade, 1st Cavalry Division, and the 3rd Infantry Division. General Murray has numerous deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan, most recently serving as the Commanding General, Joint Task Force 3, and Deputy Commanding General, Support for U.S. Forces in Afghanistan. Prior to Army Futures Command, General Murray served as the Deputy Chief of Staff, G8, in the Pentagon. General Murray is committed to bringing emerging technologies and innovations, such as those existing in Austin, to the Army Force future. Please join me in welcoming Mike Murray. General Murray.
Absolutely good, Josh. We are trying to change the culture. So, Senator Cornyn, thank you very much for being here today. Mr. Speaker, thank you for being here. A lot of people, Chancellor, had a great session with Chancellor Milliken earlier today about something that I don't think we've signed the deal yet with the University of Texas, but will be coming out pretty quick in terms of partnership. And then really, Josh, you thanked a lot of people in terms of getting Army Futures Command to Austin, but I got to tell you, and you know this, you were a huge part, and Capital Factory is a huge part of why the ultimate selection of Austin was made. And I'm thankful each and every day that Austin was selected, especially over the past couple of weeks when I look at the weather in Boston. It was a great selection for a lot of different reasons. And I really think, as I look around at this, and you've done a great job with this, this is exactly why Army Futures Command was stood up. What I see here today, and the potential of this space. And it is the largest reorganization in the Army since 1973, primarily because the Army recognized we had a problem. And the first part of addressing a problem is realizing you have a problem. And we have fundamentally failed, really for about the last 20, 30 years to modernize the Army. And some of those reasons were good reasons. We've been involved and pretty much focused on a place called Iraq and Afghanistan for the last 18 years. And while we've been focused there, potential adversaries, nation states, have taken the opportunity to outpace our modernization. And we really found ourselves in a place where we had the potential of losing the next war. So if you can't win a war and you can't convince your adversary that you can win a war, you don't have a chance of deterring a war. And that's, Senator Cornyn is exactly right. None of us, especially those of us in uniform, ever want to fight another war. What we want to do is deter war and prevent it from ever happening. And that's this modernization effort in Army Futures Command and Capital Factory, in particular, will play a large role in that. And Josh, I got to tell you, those of you that know Josh, and I think most of you know Josh, you always see Josh like this. Josh was at my house just after the first year. Josh does own a business suit. And everything I can tell you, Josh, is when you introduced your wife, the person that clapped in this room the loudest was your father. And thank you for your service. Unfortunately, you came to the United States Air Force and not the U.S. Army Air Force. So. But today is a big day, and I'm just exceptionally excited about this grand opening, and I'm probably most excited about everything that this represents and really the potential that we see coming out of this. It's the relationships, and it's the relationships with entrepreneurs, startups, with defense industry. I just saw an article, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm going to take credit for it. Round Rock is looking at a $200 million development park because of the interest from defense industry that want to be near Army Futures Command. So I do think, in terms of benefits, it's a benefit to Austin, it's a benefit to the state of Texas. I think the relationships we're building with the University of Texas and another university that's just west and I think a little bit south of here, or east and south of here, which I won't mention. I've learned that. I've got to balance those relationships. Just hold great potential to allow us to accomplish our mission. And people ask me all the time, what is your mission? And we talked a little bit about it. And Senator Cornyn talked about it, the Speaker talked about it, in making sure soldiers have the tools they need to fight and win if necessary. Better yet, to never have to fight, to deter. But I kind of look even beyond that. So this, I tell people all the time, and I talk to uniform audiences, this is not about you, the people who wear a uniform today. This is about your children and this is about your grandchildren. To make sure that we start today to secure America's tomorrow. That nobody is ever willing to challenge the United States. And it's really not just the Army, it's the Air Force, it's the Navy, it's the Marine Corps. So the United States military in a conflict ever again. So conflict becomes a thing that never happens because we are in a position to ensure that nobody's willing to stand up for us. And that happens now and it happens in the future. And I've got soon to be 8 grandchildren, and the military has become a family business, so I am personally invested in making sure that we accomplish that mission. And with the help of Josh and the help of what will happen in this space and a lot of spaces around this country, I'm absolutely confident we'll accomplish that mission. Because that will be ultimately the judge of our success, is either soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, if you look at their services, 20, 30 years from now, will judge us to be a success or not. And that is my ultimate metric. I get asked by Congress all the time, what's your metrics for success? It's hard to measure, what a young man or woman 20 years from now will judge when we look back at Army Futures Command, look back and say mission accomplished. So thank you very much. Thank you for being here. And I think we're going to cut a ribbon next.
We are.
All right.
Awesome. Let's do it. And now, First Speaker General, it's time to cut the ribbon. Do we have some big scissors? We do. Can we get 4 hands on this?
Guys, you want to turn it so the camera put it over there?
Pull that this way.
Yeah.
All right, sure.
All right.
Josh and our VIP are going to go for a brief press conference. So